name is Shارلوت Thomason. I'm 65 years old. I live in a small town just south of Houston. I have a master's degree in social work from the University of Texas at Austin, and I'm currently enrolled in the Master of Apologetics program at Houston Baptist University. I'm going to be talking about an event that happened when I was 11 years old. When I was 11, I was actually declared dead by EMS, and then seconds later I came back to life. And I want to talk about and tell the story of what happened between the time that I was declared dead and when I came back. And it's actually a story of seeing Jesus and what my reaction was to that. Now, like I said, this happened when I was 11, and at that age I became pregnant by my father as a result of sexual abuse that had started at a very young age. And on the night that the baby was born, I actually died. I don't remember everything that happened, but what I do remember is I remember seeing my baby, and she had black hair, and I heard her cry, and then I heard a really loud scream, and then everything went silent, and I couldn't breathe, and everything just started spinning, and I could feel myself not being able to breathe, and then there was just this dark emptiness that just surrounded me, and finally I just closed my eyes, and when I did that, this incredible soothing peace just surrounded me, and I really wanted to just stay there. And I didn't want to open my eyes, but finally I did. And when I did, I was in this amazing place. I was in a field, and there was grass all around. There was the grass was silver and white, and there was this breeze that was blowing through it, and it was really like making music. The breeze was actually making music, and then I realized I was actually standing on a path, a white path, and I was the wind and the breeze was just created almost a melody. It was just so soothing and so comfortable and peaceful, and really for the first time in my life I felt safe, and I was so happy. And I saw in the distance there was this really big door, and it was white and it was glistening, and part of me wanted to walk towards that door, but I just felt so peaceful and so safe that I decided, now I'm just going to stay here and just enjoy this. So I closed my eyes, and I was just really enjoying that. And then I heard a voice, and the voice said, "Open your eyes, Shárlót." And I didn't really want to, but I did. And when I did, I saw a man walking towards me, and he was holding a baby. And at first I didn't really recognize who he was, but as he got closer, I recognized it was Jesus. And I realized that the baby he was holding was probably my little girl. And I walked towards him, and I reached out because I wanted to hold my baby. And his reply was, "No, it's not your time. You can't. You have to go back." I was so angry. I was so mad at him, and I could not understand that. And I asked him, I said, "Why? Why do I have to go back? Because my parents will keep abusing me. Nothing will change. And why can't I stay?" And at this point, he was walking towards the door, and he said, "Because you have things that you still have to do. You will see her again. And in the meantime, she's going to be safe with me. But you need to go back because because there's things that you need to do. And he was walking towards that door, and I was so angry, and so I could not understand why he would send me back. And then the door opened, and I could see just this beautiful radiance, and there was singing and laughter, and I wanted so badly to go through that door. And he turned to me and he says, "It's okay, Charlotte. She's safe with me, and you will be here, but you have to." And at that point, he just walked through the door and closed the door. And at that moment, that darkness completely engulfed me. And the glorious place was gone. And I heard someone shout, "She's back, let's get her to the hospital." And my parents told me later that I'd hemorrhaged after the baby was born, and when the EMS came, they couldn't get the bleeding to stop. But then I came back. They were able to stop the bleeding enough to get me to the hospital, and so I lived, but my baby did not. She did not survive. And I really didn't tell anybody about what had happened. I was angry for a really long time that I had to come back, and the abuse did not stop until I left home at age 18. And I really, after a while, I forgot about what happened. I think it was easier for me to forget it than to think that Jesus made me come back to that life. I also remembered a lot of times in my life that Christ showed up for me. He would either send someone, or he would definitely just be there at times when I was at my darkest places. And several times he saved my life. Several times when I wanted to take my own life, circumstances happened that were definitely his presence in my life. And I remembered those times, and I remembered that those memories helped me through the darkest times of getting through the trauma of remembering everything that happened to me. And I really, really think that those experiences with Jesus are as much of a miracle as the actual events of coming back to life. You know, I was a little girl. I didn't want to come back to life. I didn't understand the miracle, and I really didn't want that miracle. But now, at age 65, I realize that I did have things to do, and I understand the decision that he made. And I do know that at some point, I will see that baby again.